You are welcome in a new episode of our show SVO English TV. Today, our topic today is different a little bit. It's about the renewable energy. Our guest today is Dr. Ahmed Sheikh, Assistant Professor in Faculty of Engineering. Dr. Ahmed, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And just let me correct to you that I'm not assistant professor, but assistant lecturer. I didn't get my PhD yet. Thank you for that invitation. Nice.
Thank you, Dr. Dr. Ahmed, may you tell us more information about the renewable energy, its history, its definition, how can we use it in the university here?
Okay. The renewable energy represented the energy sources that we could make use of, and we could generate renewable continuously through the time. The most known forms of energies like oil, petroleum, and coal are not renewable because they are expected to finish one day. We don't know for sure when that day will come, but we know that it will end. It is not renewable. It is not continuous. It's gonna finish. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next century. We don't know for sure, but we are aware that the fossil energy, the oil, petroleum, and coal are going to finish one day. So the renewable energy are the energy sources that are renewable, are continuous. They are renewable with the time, they are the new energy. And we expect them not to finish. They could be, for example, one of the forms of the renewable energy is the solar energy. The solar energy is the energy, light energy from the sun that we could use to get electricity. Other form could be the fuel cell. The fuel cell which we supply it with the fuel and it gives us electricity. Other form could be the biogas production, which is produced.
Excuse me, Dr. Ahmed. Do we have solar energy here in Egypt?
As industry?
Yes.
As industry, no. But as a research in university, yes, we do have. But we don't have the factories that fabricate or the factories that make solar cells or photovoltaic cells.
Well,
would you tell us the resources of renewable energy in Egypt?
In Egypt, like any other countries.
Or in general?
In general, yes. In general, the sources of the renewable energy, the basic source of energy is the sun, because the sun rays are directed to the earth and then in the form of electromagnetic waves, and then this electromagnetic energy is stored in the earth's crust and then is converted into other forms of energy like biomass energy, like geothermal energy. The other form of the energy that the moon, the effect of the gravitation of the moon on the earth that results in the difference between the level of the sea level, and that is called the tidal energy. Other form of renewable energy is the nuclear energy. The nuclear energy, and we do remember the American bomb that fell on the cities of Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There are two basic technologies of nuclear energy: fusion and fission. Fusion, that you do separate the nucleus of the atom into two parts, and the fission is the inverse. You make two nucleus together in one nucleus. Another form of renewable energy is the biomass energy. The biomass, when we say biomass, we mean the organic matter that is stored like waste disposal. Any organic matter disposal, we could use it as a biomass, and we could get biofuels from biomass. And the biofuels, of course, are used for transportation vehicles and for other purposes like electricity generation.
well, Doctor, I want to know the difference between the geothermal energy and the global warming, and also you have said an expression which is biochemical. What is the meaning of biochemical?
When I mean biochemical is composed of bio, which stands for biology, or it's from the nature. It is not something that human interaction made. It's from the nature itself. It's biology. And the chemical means chemical, that it has some kind of chemical nature, chemical characteristics. It's considered molecules, and molecules is composed of chemical bonds between the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and some other. But the basic three elements are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, with some other elements like nitrogen, zirconium, other elements. But basically, it's carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and basically, it's biological. It's biological. It is not made by human. It's made by nature.
Well, I want to know, and also our audience, the difference between geothermal energy and the global warming.
Okay. For many decades, not many decades, for more than 2 centuries since the start of the industrial revolution in the United Kingdom, the human beings have depended on burning and combustion of fossil fuels like petroleum, oil, coal to generate electricity and to supply our needs of energy. The combustion of oil, for example, has resulted in the generation of unwanted and undesirable gases like CO2 and like SO2. These emissions of undesirable gases has resulted in what we know as the global warming issue. Because when these gases go outside in the atmosphere, in our atmosphere, it makes some error. It makes some error in the ecosystem of the Earth, and therefore we have little amount of oxygen. Our global temperature is going to increase tremendously through the time, and therefore we got here an issue of global warming, that our temperature is going to increase every year, and a little amount of oxygen. Therefore, we wanted, this is the global warming issue. But the geothermal energy, geo stands for geology. You know geology, it's about rocks, earth formation, earth structures, and thermal means heat, thermal energy. So geothermal energy is a thermal energy stored in the earth's crust. Okay?
Well,
But how can we prevent global warming from increasing?
Thank you for that important question, because this is what we need to do right now. To prevent or to reduce, at least to reduce the global warming issues, we have to look for alternative sources for energy. These alternative sources should be renewable and should be friendly to the environment. I mean that it should be safe. It doesn't have to produce greenhouse gases like CO2 or SO2 or any other kind of gas that is undesirable and unfriendly to the environment. And all the other forms of renewable energy that I have talked about just a minute ago are friendly to the environment. I mean the solar energy is friendly to the environment. The fuel cell is friendly to the environment. The biogas is friendly to the environment. The nuclear energy is friendly to the environment, but we should take care about the nuclear waste, because this is very, very, very important issue. And these wastes don't get, we can eliminate these wastes easily. So we have to make sure of safe storage for this waste, because it emits radiations which are very harmful to humans. But the nuclear wastes are not a hazard to the environment, but it's a hazard to the human life itself.
So nuclear energy is very good, but it has its side effects, right?
Yes, of course. And there are ethical debates all over the world among the researchers in the universities about the application and usage of nuclear energy. Some scientists are for nuclear energy usage and application, and some other scientists are against the usage and application of nuclear energy.
Also, Doctor, do you think that we can use renewable energy in our daily life? I mean, does it cost too much or we can afford using it?
Actually, the application and costs of renewable energy are variable. It could be on the individual scale and it could be on the country scale or the government scale. So yes, an individual scale, yes, we could make use of our renewable energy. For example, on the roof of your house, you could use small amount of solar cells that will get the solar radiation and will generate electrical energy to you. Yes, this is something you could use in your
So it
home.
doesn't cost too much? Right?
No, it does cost because you need a huge amount of solar cells together, lined together, and you need a huge area on your roof because it needs a large area because the solar cell efficiency is very low. It doesn't exceed 20%, for example, and therefore you need a huge number of solar cells together to get a reasonable amount of renewable electricity. Some people do what? Some people make use of the sun and of the wind. So on the roof, if they are in coastal city like Hurghada, for example, they are better to do what? They are better to put wind turbine, okay, and together with solar panel. The solar panel is the panel that contains some solar cells lined together. Therefore, in such cities, the wind speed is very high in Hurghada, for example. The wind speed generates electrical energy, and the solar panel also generates electrical energy, and therefore they could use both of them together, the energy generated from the wind and the energy generated from the sun. Other thing you can make, in the rural countries we are rearing animals, and the animals do have wastes. We could store these wastes in a special thing named the digester. Digester in the earth's crust. We could introduce such wastes mixed with water for some amount of time, maybe 4 weeks, for example. And due to the effect of the heat, especially in the summer, due to the effect of the heat, a specific kind of bacteria is going to break the bonds, the chemical bonds between the compounds and molecules of such compounds, and will generate us a mixture of CO2 and CH4, methane and carbon dioxide. And these two gases mixed together is called natural biogas, or for simplicity, it's called biogas. And it's also friendly to the environment. It could be used for transportation vehicle, it could be used for electricity generation, it could be used for heating and for cooking if you are using just at your home.
Yes.
So Dr. Ahmed, during my conversation with you before we start the program, you have said an expression about Carnot efficiency.
Yes.
What is the Carnot efficiency?
Okay. Usually we are using fossil fuels like petroleum, oil, coal to get our needs of energy. For example, for my car I use oil, and our government for electricity generation they also burn fossil fuels like oil or diesel. The problem that the heat engines that we are using to convert or to get electricity from the fossil fuels, that the efficiency of these heat engines is very low. It doesn't exceed 30%, for example. Why is that? Because we have higher temperature and lower temperature. And the efficiency of these engines is calculated how? It's calculated by subtracting the lower temperature from the high temperature and the subdivision by the higher temperature. Therefore, the efficiency is very low. Let me put it simply. You have supplied the heat engine with, for example, 10 joule of energy, of thermal energy. The heat engine used only 2 joules from the 10 joules to produce mechanical work or electrical work. Where is the 8 other joules? They are lost. They are lost in the environment. 8 joules of thermal energy of heats have been lost in the.
It has any side effects about, on the environment?
Of course, because this heat energy, thermal energy lost will increase the temperature, the global warming, the temperature of global warming to increase. And of course, this heat energy is lost in the form of chemical gases, the undesirable gas, mainly carbon dioxide. It will reduce the amount of oxygen, and it will increase the temperature, and that's it. That's where we get to the global warming issue.
So how can we benefit from this renewable energy in Egypt here?
In Egypt and in any other country, it's very necessary to look for alternative energy resources and the renewable energy resources to decrease, because when you get to the renewable energy issue, you are suffering a lot. The air conditioning system is not working efficiently, and we feel very hot, and we can't work when we feel very hot. And of course, the efficiency of our factories, industry, universities, everything is going to get reduced because of the hellish weather we live in. So therefore, we have to look for the other sources to reduce our dependence on the combustion of fuels, of fossil fuels. And when we reduce that, we get renewable energy, which is safe. It doesn't increase our temperature, and in the same time, it's renewable. It's gonna continue. It's gonna stay. I don't expect it to finish one day.
Doctor, you have said very simple ways to get energy from simple things. Is there anyone support these ideas?
Actually, yes, but it's individual efforts, and the individual effort, unfortunately, doesn't continue. It has to be some kind of general policy for maybe a university, for maybe some of the ministries, or for the government as a whole to support the research, to support the financial, to support the researchers financially to do research in renewable energy. Also, it has to, the government has to support the persons, the individuals who are willing to do successful research in this area. Maybe they will support them to travel abroad to study some degree and come back to do the research. But and when they come back, also the government has, it's very necessary, because many faculties go outside, get a PhD for example, and they get back to home country. And when they get back with PhD in renewable energy, but they don't know how to make use of our their degrees. The studies they have made outside, they don't know how to make use of that, of the knowledge, of the experience they got.
Yes, they don't find anyone to support them to go far on this scientific research.
Exactly. They feel that we can't make use of what they have done outside abroad,
yes.
And therefore they become disappointed. They feel very disappointed because they feel that they have lost their time and their success outside them. So when they come back, they have to find the specific laboratories, okay, and the industrial firms, industrial companies that are willing to aid them, to support them, to continue their previous studies outside abroad. If they found such support and such continuous encouragement to do some good job, they are gonna be very, very successful here.
Dr. Ahmed, my colleague Sarah has a very important question about the techniques of the renewable energy. You can ask her.
What are the latest modern techniques that are used in this field?
Yeah, okay. I want to say first that all the techniques of renewable energy are investigated extensively through all the world. If you go to Korea, South Korea, if you go to Japan, if you go to the United States, if you go to the United Kingdom, Europe, anywhere. Even if you go to South Africa, you're gonna find huge support for renewable energy research. And if you look for the advertisement about some kind of a scholarship and go to the related required fields, the first field you will see renewable energy. This is because the governments all over the world are very aware that we need now renewable energy now, not later. Okay, so the energies that are considered renewable now may be classified as solar cell and the photovoltaic cell that use the solar radiation to generate electricity, direct current electricity. Other form of renewable energy, as I said before, is the nuclear energy. Okay? But the nuclear we have to take care of it because it has some political correspondence. Okay? And we remember the deal that has done between Iran and the 6 largest nations. Okay? The third form of renewable energy is the wind energy. In the coastal cities like Hurghada, Alexandria, the wind speed is very high. So if they use the wind turbine to convert the very high speed of the wind is called mechanical potential energy or mechanical kinetic energy. The wind turbine is used to convert the very high mechanical kinetic energy in the wind speed into electrical energy, alternative current. Okay. The fourth form of renewable energy is the biomass energy. The biomass, as I said before, is the organic material that is stored in the earth's crust. Okay, we could make use of this because this organic matter does contain what? Does contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen.
Well,
if we could make some kind of conversion for these materials into biofuels like biogas, bioethanol. Ethanol particularly in Brazil is produced from sugarcane. You know sugarcane, we produce sugarcane extensively here in Egypt. In the United States,
especially in Najah Hamad.
of course, in Najah Hamadi, Deshna, Kous, we have in Kenya especially 5 or 4 factories for sugarcane production. And this is very important point for our government to produce ethanol. Okay, bioethanol, another kind of biofuel. All these biofuels could be used for transportation vehicles, for electricity generation. The same uses of the traditional uses of oil, petroleum, and coal. The same uses, but the production technology is very different, and the production technology is very safe. It's very friendly to the environment, but it is not known yet. So we have to pay money to improve the efficiency and to improve the technology.
Well, so can you summarize the 3 techniques or 4 techniques that you have said about the renewable energy?
Yes.
Just in brief.
Yes. Okay. The biomass and
Energy.
yes, and the hydrogen production.
Hydrogen.
Yeah, of course, because hydrogen also is used to power the cars. There is some kind of cars that known as hydrogen cars.
Well,
This car is supplied energy by the combustion of hydrogen, and the combustion of hydrogen is safe because it doesn't produce CO2. Okay,
well,
the hydrogen, the biomass, the fuel cells, and the solar energy, and the nuclear energy, the wind energy, the geothermal energy. These are the basic 7 forms of renewable energy.
so how do you see the future of the renewable energy here in Egypt?
It's very necessary for our government and any other government to look for alternative and renewable energy. It is not a choice, it's a must. Because when we go further in time, we get the situation worse for the global warming issue. And this is because of the combustion of fuels for electricity generation and for transportation vehicles. So we have to reduce our dependence on combustion of oil and petroleum. And to do that, we need alternative energies, like renewable energy. And we have to make use of it because also the traditional fossil energy, oil, petroleum, are expected to finish one day. So what do we do when the fossil energy ends? When we do some search for oil and we don't find the oil.
But to apply these renewable energy techniques, you of course need funds, you need supply, you need another thing is to make you do such research.
Yes, of course, it needs some kind funding. Funding is low now, unfortunately, and the organization and coordination is very poor now. The funding is needed to be improved, and the organization is needed to be improved also.
So, Doctor, I heard that you went to Brazil for studying. May you tell us about your studying?
Yes. 3 years ago, I went to Brazil to study a master degree, and the master topic was about the synthesis. Synthesis, which means preparation of fuel cell catalysts. The fuel cell, if you could, yes, this picture, no, the other picture, could you fix it? The fuel cell is like a battery. It's composed of two parts. This is the anode and this is the cathode. And here we have the fuel, which in this case hydrogen, and we have here all oxygen entering into the cathode. What happens is that it's electrochemical reactions for both the fuel in the anode and the oxygen in the cathode. These electrochemical reactions are oxidation of the fuel and the reduction of the oxygen. The result of such electrochemical reactions is electrical current in the outside circuit. When it comes, I could show you. This electrical current is direct electric current. It's electric energy you could make use to for your home and for the factories. This is what you need. Yes.
The other picture, please.
Yes. You have here electric current, and this is the load, and this is called the electrolyte. In Brazil, I was interested because the oxidation of hydrogen here in the anode is very difficult. So usually it has been used in the metal of platinum to accelerate the reaction of hydrogen oxidation and oxygen reduction. Platinum is very noble metal. It's very expensive, and the cost of using it is very high. So we need to find another metal which is lower in cost and better active,
Like
more
what?
active,
Like what?
like palladium.
Balance.
Palladium, yes. So I worked on the synthesis and preparation of palladium catalysts, but not for hydrogen oxidation, for ethanol oxidation. Previously, fuel cells were using just hydrogen as a fuel, but nowadays it has been converted, and the hydrogen is produced from other alcohols like ethanol or methanol by a process called reforming. About 20 years ago, the researchers have started to use, instead of hydrogen, to use liquid fuel like ethanol or methanol to be directed into the fuel cell anode. This is because the infrastructure to store hydrogen is a gas. Hydrogen is a gas. It's a gas, and its storage and the transportation is very, very difficult. So we need some kind of liquid fuel that could be stored and transported easy. So we have looked for other kind of fuel instead of hydrogen. Methanol and ethanol are the most used fuels now. And in Brazil, I wasn't interested, as I said, in ethanol because ethanol is produced from sugar cane there. And Brazil is the biggest country in the world that produces ethanol from sugar cane. So the cost of producing ethanol there is very low compared to the United States, of course. Therefore, I worked on the electro-oxidation of ethanol, and I used palladium-based catalysts, which is better, more active than, I used the palladium-based catalyst instead of platinum-based catalyst to reduce the cost and to improve the efficiency. And of course, the efficiency has been improved. And you measure the efficiency by measuring the electric current outside in the cell. When the electric current goes up, it means that the catalyst is more active, and you know that this catalyst is palladium, so palladium is cheaper than platinum. So you have reduced the cost and you have improved the efficiency. So this is excellent result.
Yes. What's your future plans? Are you going to travel abroad again to study?
Yes, I'm going to travel to the United Kingdom, England, to study a PhD. And generally, the PhD will be in the same area, but the inverse idea. This is to produce electrical energy. The PhD may be to produce fuel, like hydrogen, from something we call the electrolyzer. It is the same component, but it's instead of producing electrical energy, I will supply electrical energy to produce hydrogen.
Yes. At the end of this episode, I want to thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for being our guest today and for this valuable information. Also, I want to thank you, Ahmed, for sharing me with this interview. I want to thank the audience for watching us and